Hello everyone, back here with another EverQuest video, and today I'm going to be trying something in Skyshrine. I'm on my Enchanter and I'm going to be attempting to show you the Fe'dhar camp while charming a really powerful pet. It's quite risky, but also really a lot of fun and potentially rewarding. Um, so as you can see right now, I'm at the sort of fire pod zone. Click out to Cobalt Scars and Skyshrine. I'm not on Dragon faction, which means that I'm Cossin here, and basically doing this unless you're a Feign Death class with a pet. So I guess that limits it. It will mean tanking your Dragon faction. Um, and you can get some really nice items. There's a like the biggest reward would be to get the Wormlord shawl, the shoulder piece that is for pure casters, close to being best in slot, although it isn't. I mean, but outside of like Temple of Vision or a few other choice items, it's like incredibly good. And basically all the mobs in the area we'll be fighting today, they have the same loot table according to Wiki, anyways, and it's just really long, and the drop rates are really low, and a lot of the loot is crap, but then some of the loot is really decent and stuff you can sell, stuff with like cool graphics on it or with like unique effects, stuff like that. And then you have the Wormlord shawl, which is the biggest prize. And in terms of money, you can like the best items you can get to sell are probably like between 3 and 10, maybe not 10, 3 and 8k. So it's not like the worst. Usually you'll see necromancers soloing there because they can flop the aggro and let their pet finish the mob, and they get full XP. Plus, it's really nice as a necro to solo here. You can fear kite. And if I had known about it when I was leveling up my necro, I probably would have gone here at like level 57, 58 kind of thing, and gotten a bit of XP while trying to get lucky on the shoulder piece. I should let you know, I've been coming here on and off for about 4 years, and I've never seen the shoulder piece drop, so it's very rare, and I've probably been pretty unlucky. All right, so anyways, I'm gonna head up to where the Fe'dhar camp is, and in this room, if you didn't know it, these guys over here, some of them, or maybe just one of them, this Suez Drake sees invis. So if you're lower level, he'll aggro as you try to run through this door over here. At level 60, it's not a problem. Just go like this. Let's head up there. It's not a very long run, and yeah, it's a pretty cool camp. So you can choose to charm like one of the mobs that you're basically killing, and if you do that, then it's very safe. The mobs don't summon, and yeah, just easy, right? But what you can do is, what I'm going to do is charm a level 53 sort of Velium Statue, and then it's like a lot more. It's fast. It's much faster and much more fun, but also riskier, obviously. All right, so this little hallway here is a safe spot. I think these stairs are safe too. So if you're Cost, you can sit here. You can med up. And I'm just going to met just a little bit more to not go in with bad odds. You really are going to want to have your Bedlam and Rune 5 on pretty much at all time. As if you get a charm break, which you will probably, you're going to be summoned by your pet, and you'll want to have the mob you're fighting rooted and be sitting sort of behind your pet. Pretty close to it, so ideally you maybe don't get summoned. But in any case, try not to get summoned into where you're getting hit by the other mob. And actually, maybe it helps to be small in that case. I'm not sure, but I think size does matter. I'm just gonna hit the old gnome illusion, the old gnomerino. Yeah, and you're gonna want to channel through your stun, your color stun, and then spam your charm to recharm. That's my strategy. You can try and mez it, but if stun lands, it'll be stunned for long enough. So yeah. All right, let's see. I kind of want to get going, but I also kind of don't want to, you know, die because I didn't take the extra 2 minutes to mid up, or maybe not die, but I don't want to have to sort of abort. As you can see, I have a beautiful corpse there. I just died trying to set up before. And that can definitely happen when you're fighting a high level, or a summoning mob that hits for more than 200. We are, as Enchanter's, pretty squishy, but I feel like if you don't get unlucky, then you should have a fairly good chance of recovering a charm break. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and sit over here. This is the mob we'll be charming. So what do I actually think I'm going to start off with a rapture. You can mez him with mesmerize, but he will resist it every now and again, especially when not tashed. So just to not start out by having our runes beaten off and getting into a messy situation with potentially multiple mesmerize resists, I'm just going to lead with the rapture, even though it costs a lot of mana, and then we're going to charm and see how we do. And you can choose to haste the pet or not. I will haste the pet because it will just speed up the process a lot, and especially it's probably not necessary on these cubes where we'll be fighting initially, but once we get to the wyverns, then it actually does make a difference. But okay, let's see here. And let's charm. We have to use Boltrons because he's level 53. Okay, I'm just gonna mem gate because I might need to sort of leave on at a moment's notice. I got my daughter taking her nap. If she wakes up, I'll have to skedaddle. I'd rather just gate. All right, we do need to be sort of focused on medding here as well, because I did maybe just overextend myself a little bit in terms of starting with low mana pool. Okay, so let's send the pet in and run down with him, and we can haste him once I have the pet rooted, or the mob rooted. And once he's hasted, he should really be tearing through that thing. Let's have a look. Yeah, 212. I saw him hit. Yeah, he hits for 212. Wiki says 213, so I'm not really sure if that's if that means he's like a lower level than 53, like 52. But it'd be kind of weird if that only made 1 point of damage a difference to the max hit, but might be. All right, so you want to keep as much as you can. You want to keep your pet targeted. That's just good sort of practice for any sort of high-end charm solo thing. You want to be able to, if you eat a charm break, not have to start wasting time toggling between targets. Yeah. See, I tashed after my pet had aggroed it. And had gotten around into it, which meant that yeah, there's something about initial aggro. Like if you pull a mob with Tash, for instance, then it doesn't seem to allocate the full Tash aggro, number or whatever. So just to put it in numbers, let's say that aggro was has like numbers, and that Tash is plus 100 aggro when you cast it, but if it's the first time if you cast it as the first thing that aggroes a mob, it's only plus 10 or plus 30 or whatever, and then once the pet starts hitting it, it'll immediately steal aggro. But if it's the other way around and your pet has been beating on it for a little while, and then you tash, it gets the full plus 100, if that made any sense. All right. Yep. Not expecting a lot, if any, loot at all, but I'm being a little bit, greedy with my rune or with my bedlam because I did get the second shambling cube got a few rounds off on me, so I should probably be redoing it, but I really want my mana, and I feel like I'm going to be redoing bedlam in a little while anyways, so. And yeah, I'm not, like, according to Wiki, all of the mobs in here that we'll be killing have the same loot table, as far as I can tell, anyways. But I have this suspicion, I guess, that maybe the loot is tiered, and that there's a higher tier loot, like because I've gotten the same crappy sort of walrus shield, walrus bone shield or whatever it's called, and like several other like not very impressive pieces of loot. I've gotten those a lot of times, and then there's stuff like the Wormlord troll that I've never gotten, and a few other things I've gotten like once ever. So that might just be rarity, but I have the suspicion that maybe these green conning cubes can only drop the lower level stuff, but I could totally be wrong. All right, I think I'm gonna redo that bedlam now. So another hotkey you really want when charm soloing is you want a hotkey to switch between two targets. So you target something, and then you target something else, and you hit your hotkey for swapping, and then you can sort of have the mob you're killing targeted and your pet targeted. All right, let's head up. So we'll eventually be heading down here, but first we're going to be killing some more cubes over here. These cubes are named. There is one. All right. And they're green conning these named cubes. Oops, root wore off. And trying to root my pet, that's no good. So having charm breaks, it's kind of self-evident, but the higher level stuff you're doing, the quicker you gotta be. So basically, if I get a charm break, I'll be spamming. That's why I have my mouse sort of hovering over color slant. I'm going to be color slanting. Once it hits, I'm going to be spamming or rather, just as soon as the cast bar starts going down, I'm going to be spamming my instant click hotkey. These two up here, I'm not going to root because they are very, very weak. Yeah, my instant click to refresh my cooldowns on the gems, and I'm gonna, as soon as stun lands, I'm gonna be spamming Boltrons. That is actually a really nice charm. It only has 4-second cast time, and the color line stuns for 8 seconds. So you have plenty of time once it's stunned to cast Boltrons. All right, so we have one more up here once these two are dead. Nothing there. Nothing there, I guess. Yep. So you can see these, whoops, charm broke. All right, so it's lucky that we didn't engage. And what can be a pretty big challenge when charming this guy is that sometimes he will resist the charm even with Tosh. And I mean, if you get a charm resist after it's stunned, and if you're in the middle of a fight, it can get kind of ugly. What you want to do there is then like use the other color stun spell, the color skew, I guess, and then just trying to land the charm one more time. So all this stuff is green, but once we get upstairs, all of it will be blue. And yeah. What I see a lot of people do here is have alts camped because some of the stuff that drops here is really nice, but it's no drop. And I actually think I should have moved my druid here before because the timer on every corpse is 7 minutes. So you don't really have a lot of time to be like goofing around with like moving a character here. If something drops, you kind of want the character already here. So people have like low level alts moved up here and camped. It's very nice, like priest. Oops, there's a worm. Yeah, we're gonna kill him. This is the only caster mob we'll be fighting. This guy. I think he's a paladin. He dispels, but not very effectively. I've never had him dispel my charm, to my knowledge, anyways. And then he casts small heals on himself and probably roots as well. But I've not really seen that. But yeah, there are two worms, and this is one of them, both named. And this is the only mob that's a caster. So we could have Depth of Thought memmed if we really wanted to. And there you see him healing. Being quite annoying. But we'll eventually get him. Now he's dispelling. Oops. Son of a gun. He actually did dispel my charm. Alright. And once he's dead, I'm going to go check on my... Unbelievable. Yeah, these tombs I think are for some high elf quest. Alright, so I had to camp because I had to go check on my daughter. And she's fine, so I'm going to run back and yeah, so I'm going to run back and re-charm, and we have the pop. We have a pop there, so I'm gonna go ahead and kill that as well. Alright. Oops, got a resist on the mesmerize. Gonna try and land. Because again, he should still be toshed, although I'm not exactly sure how it works. Like if, fuck. Pardon my French. He's fast too. Wow, looks like I'm gonna eat it. Oh, never mind. There we go. Okay, so gonna charm. It's not ideal to be stuck at 26% life, but luckily we have some regen off our ring clicky, so if we don't get too unlucky with another charm break, we should be fine going ahead. Okay, so let's start by killing that shambling cube that has spawned, and then we'll move to kill the second worm and the wyverns. Yep. Yeah. This is yeah, I feel I won't feel good until I'm sitting at like 70% health. Um, I think this is one of the reasons why, or probably the main reason why having regen on an Enchanter is incredibly nice. Because, for instance, when charm soloing in Plane of Mischief, where both your pet and, well, I guess your pet is less important, but where the mob that you are fighting summons, if you get too low on your health, then it doesn't matter that you sort of regain control of the charm and repurposes your pet. It doesn't even matter that you like when I'm charm soloing in Plane of Mischief, I'll have memory flux memmed, and if I get a charm break, I'll stun my pet. The mob that I'm fighting won't get stunned because it's too high level, but then it will be slowed, so I'll have enough time to channel through charm. I'll recharm my pet, and then I will have to memory blur the mob I'm fighting. And the reason for that is that, if I don't, then it will just keep being, being mad at me. But the problem with that is if you get low on life, you'll get low hit point aggro. So it doesn't matter that you are that you memory blur it. If you're at like 18% life, it'll just keep, because you'll be on its aggro list because your pet is hitting it. It'll just keep summoning you. And if you don't have any way to regain your hit points, then that's it's kind of a recipe for disaster. So say you get like one charm break and you recover, but it costs you like all of your rune and down to like 80% health. I mean, that's fine. You re-rune, but then you get another charm break while re-runing, and now you recover and you're down to like 40% health. And if you then get one more charm break, it doesn't matter. Then if you recover from it, you'll die to having low hit point aggro, and that if you're not regenerating any health. Hang on, someone killing stuff here. There used to be there will normally be a worm up right here, so it seems like someone else has been killing the stuff. Interesting. What about in here? Yeah, everything is down. I haven't seen anyone in the zone for a while. So maybe someone killed it. So normally what we'll have here is another worm named Jelk or something standing here. And Jelk patrols from where I am down to the end of this hall, and then down the ramp, and then up again. But yeah, and then we'll have like a wyvern here, a wyvern there, then a wyvern here, and one over here. And then you have this hungry cube that people usually don't kill, but I'm just going to go ahead and kill it. Because I don't think that has any noticeable drops. It'll drop like a small coin purse, which I think reduces the weight of your coin by like 40% or 20% or something. So yeah, as you can see with my 10 ring, like Colding Ring 10 click, I'm just regenerating up pretty nicely. I'm already at 62%. Whereas if I didn't have that, I'd probably still be down at around 30%. Alright, so this is a bit of a bummer. These are down, but they might pop soon. And we have some mobs up here, but if the ones down here are down, I'm guessing the ones up here probably are down too. You have one that spawns here and patrols up this little ramp and then down this hallway, but that's down as well. And then you have this cluster of 3 standing in this little alcove or cubby here, but they are down. Okay, well, seeing as these are down, there's no real reason for me to be sitting on this pet here. So what I might do is I might relog to clear him, and then I will edit the waiting period out, and I'll be back. Or tell you what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to gate up to Plane of Mischief. The A4 mobs might be up, and someone might not be killing them. And you'll get a little bonus A4. And then we'll just run back to Skyshrine and redo these wyverns in like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And I think the mob respawn time is like 27 minutes in Skyshrine. Yeah, both of these dudes are up. Who's in the zone? All right, cool. So I'll show you these as well, in case you haven't seen them. 22 is up. So what I usually do, what I used to do anyways, was that I would charm the A1 halflings, one of them, and weaponize it and bring it. But what I have instead opted to do is I've started charming one of the number dudes down in the main chest room hall, the invisible guys that's named like 0 through 3. And the reason for that is twofold. Oh, the chest is up as well. Might do that afterwards. So, first of all, they actually get to A4 a lot faster. They path through because like Plane of Mischief is all about like teleporting around, clicking on stuff, and moving you from one point on the map to another point on the map. And so they will. What's this? It's just a ghillie. So they will warp through the floor, I guess, and it'll just take them a lot shorter time to get here. Hey. So yeah. So that means they get here. Like, see, he'll be popping out from here, from this area, in just a moment. Where, like, with the A1 guys, it takes them a good, like, 3 minutes or something to run through all of Alice in Wonderland. Because they are not going from one, see, there he is, from one, like, floor to another, so they are actually just having to run the whole area. Alright, so when breaking these two, what I want to do is I want to calm them, and I want to mem Glamour of Kintas, because that can actually miss these guys. Theoretically, Mesmerize should be able to do that, but I just never am able to stick it. And if we get a critical charm break, it's not the best. Sorry, a critical calm break is what I want to say. Calm resist. Also, that was nice. If we were to get a charm break before slow lands, we are likely toast, but one way that we might be able to survive is if we mez the twin. But anyways, I said that it was twofold, the reason to use the numbers guy. The other reason is they don't summon. They are like not a lot, but they are weaker. And while that does mean that, you know, they kill a little bit slower than say a weaponized A1 halfling does, it's not a lot slower, and it's just I've found that I am just surviving charm breaks a whole lot more after going over to using these guys. Not to mention, it's just a lot more convenient when you have to sort of like break your charm. For instance, once I've killed these two guys, my pet will be kind of close to dead, and I won't be able to just immediately go and engage 22. So I'll need to heal my pet. And in case you know what that means that once a mob has no aggro, it starts regaining health at 5% per world tick, so 5% per 6 seconds. So what you want to do is you want to break charm, and then you want to mess your pet. You just want to use level 4 mesmerize here, and you can just con it. If it says threateningly, it means that it has not been memblurred. But if it says indifferently, it has been memblurred, and then you just want to keep it mezzed while it regains all its health. Now that's a whole lot easier if your pet doesn't summon. You just position it in one end of the room, run to the other end, break charm. It's a lot more annoying if your pet is like a hasted, weaponized, summoning little aggro dude. So beforehand, I would have to, like, you can camp out, but technically you're forfeiting the camp if you do. Some people care a lot about that stuff. Some people are more lenient, but you can run into someone sitting here, and if they see you log out, you have technically forfeited the camp. So if you don't want to log out, what you need to do is like break your charm while being online. You can either just invis with the goblin ring or cast invis, but then you get summoned and your pet is hasted. So what I would normally do was dispel the pet. so it doesn't have the haste at least. But that still means you're getting beaten on. Your Bedlam and Rune is getting taken off, and it's a little bit annoying. So actually, what I'm gonna just mem root here, because if he starts, like the mobs up here will start running or fleeing, and if he flees towards the other halfling, I'm gonna root him. Yeah. All right. Just gonna root. Means my pet takes a bit more of a beating, but so be it. All right. All right. Let's see if we got lucky. Nope. All right. Pulling the second guy. Sending in pet. Actually, I'm just gonna put down in my notes here that Gren died at 1308. So, yeah, like I said, I used to die a lot doing this, and I will still die occasionally, but it's a lot. It feels a lot better now. One thing is I've gotten a bit better gear. Got the regen click off the ring, which is like a big help. But I also just feel like this change in strategy is like I really like it. The only time I don't like it actually is when fighting 22, and it's not like I don't like it, but it's just when fighting 22, you sometimes get like some slow resists, like in a row to begin with. And if you get 4 to 5 slow resists, you get to a point where your pet has because he's not as tough as the halflings from A1. He'll be at like maybe 70% health, and 22 will be at like 88% health or something, and then you'll have to help by bedlaming him once your slow lands. Yeah, that might even actually be the case now because, as you can see, our pet is getting sort of precariously low. But it's not too bad yet. Oh. Alright. Let's redo clarity. Bedlam fading. Want to keep that bedlam on. Always be bedlaming. And I don't know. There's really no need to be like junk buffing, but for some reason I just always like to do it. If actually there is one, albeit not enormous reason, which is that when you need to leave Plane of Mischief, you need to cross the sort of drawbridge with the dispelling trap when you're inside the castle, and that means you have to. It's nice that they don't. All your buffs aren't taken. Okay, let's see. Bren, 1312. Okay, come on then. Nope. All right. So what we want to do here before we kill 22, which I'm just gonna go check is still alive. Yeah, he is we wanna break our charm. And actually, because our pet is so low, we don't need to worry about where he is, because he's just gonna start roaming, or fleeing rather, because he's a low hit point. Okay, so there you see I messed him, and then it says indifferently, which means he has forgotten me, and now he's regenerating 5% per tick. One thing to really be aware of when doing this is that what I was telling you before about how these mobs have to sort of roam through different levels without a direct path. That means that they will start roaming back that way. And that also means, oops, see, now he's not blurred, so we want to make sure he's blurred. That means that he will just start heading for like the wall, and then he will walk through the wall, and he will like walk down, and then he'll be stuck underground kind of thing, or not stuck, but anyway, you won't be able to cast on him. And that can be that's just something to be very careful with. When we're doing what we're doing right now, it's not the biggest problem. At very worst, what would happen was would be that he would just, we would have to run down and grab another pet. But that can be, annoying enough in itself. But what would be even worse is if you didn't, if you broke charm like I just did, and he started fleeing, and then you weren't fast enough to mez him before he reached a wall, he would then pop underneath the world, still being having aggro on you, and eventually he would, come back. He might draw a train towards you, but even worse, he might get to a point where he would be back, and maybe he would, because EverQuest is EverQuest, he might not come up here. He might be sort of stuck underneath the world, beating on you, and that's not a good thing. Okay. So, as you can see, this is not done in like 30 seconds. This is takes like 2 minutes or something, but it's still pretty neat. And because we can use the level 4 mez, it's not really costing us mana. Okay. And also what you always want to do in this situation, just for good measure, is always, you want to retash before charming. Okay, so let's get the show on the road here. Let's go and kill 22, hopefully. Actually, let me just haste. I'm pretty sure they keep the haste, but oops, charm wore off. That was fast. I'm pretty sure they keep the haste, but just in case they don't, if you have the epic, it's sort of free mana, so might as well. Okay. So, just gonna wait till my pet is actually. Actually, let's just pull him and send in pet, and hopefully land that slow. Nope, resists. Yeah. Trying to slow level 60 mob is not always easy. And I mean, if we don't stick slow in like the next 4 or 5 attempts, that actually might just mean that we wipe. But, you gotta be able to live with those kind of risks. And usually it'll land. Not today, though. Yikes. Okay. Uh-oh, can't see it. That's no good. Okay, no, there he is. See, if this was one of the halflings, he would be still at like 70% life, or maybe. Oh, man. This sucks. There we go. Okay, so slow landed, but it might be too late. I might need to get kind of aggressive with ruining my pet, which is annoying. I could also need, at one point, like, need to step in to be tanking him. Okay. All right. Well, I think that this was a little bit of an outlier in terms of number of slows needed. Usually, I gotta feel like slow lands in the first 3 attempts. Oops. Uh-oh. Okay. Alright, so 0 is stunned, 22 is not. Hopefully 22 doesn't interrupt me. Okay, so we send back 22 and we memory flux, and now our mana is really shot to shit. Oh no. Yeah, I think that's a wipe, because I won't have mana to both charm and send in and memory blur, I don't think, at least. Let's see how this goes. Maybe the memory blur is still sort of fresh enough. Okay, so I'm gonna do something here. I'm not sure. This is Hail Mary territory. I'm gonna click my robe, which has like a 24-second cast time. Oh, come on. 3 charm breaks. Okay, I'm dead here. Well, I don't think you can really factor too heavily for that. 3 charm breaks in such a short space of time is pretty unfortunate. Um, yeah, that was really the worst of what 22 has to offer, I think. So a bunch of slow resists, and then we got unlucky and got 3 charm breaks in a row. So I think I'm gonna attempt to just kill him again, though. So you'll have to bear with my my medding up. This is where you can really hurt yourself if you rush things too much. Oops. All right. And by that I mean if you try and go without like HP buffing yourself and only being at like half at your half your life total, it's not the best. All right, so gonna want to click my region, gonna want to click C2, then I'm gonna go and grab a pet and hopefully exact my revenge on ye old 22. I actually think we had it if the 3rd charm break hadn't happened, even though our mana was kind of drained, because the first Membler meant, because the charms were just, in such close proximity to each other in time, the first Membler meant I hadn't really rebuilt enough aggro. Okay, so our pet is going to pop up here. It takes it a couple of minutes to get back down, which is probably fine in terms of us just memming what we need to mem. Put gate there. So we need to have a charisma buff on. And we need some HP. So I'm probably, by the time I get back to Skyshrine, all of it will have repopped, so I guess that's fine. Okay, and there is the pet. So let's mem Bedlam and I guess Rune. I think I'm getting low on Paradots. Oh no, I still got a bit more than a stack. It's fine. Okay. So it says 17% on his health, but that's just because he hasn't. The game just glitches out. He'll be at full life now. Okay. So yeah, I really want to get a couple of Aura of Battle effects on this Enchanter so that I can get closer to, or just like to have more regen. Because as you can see, just the 10 regen, it's really, really good. If I didn't have it, I'd just be sitting at around 50% life, not really moving, and that would just mean that instead of being able to handle maybe 2 charm breaks, I might struggle to even handle 1. Okay, gonna Bedlam and Rune. And be at kind of low mana, which really means that we are going to be reliant on slow, not taking another 5 resists. Or that was more than 5, I think. So it's a little foolish maybe to go so soon. Just see where the pet is. Okay, there he is. But I feel like I want to strike while the iron is hot, or, whatever metaphor you want to use. There we go. First attempt slow. How do you like them apples? What's this? Does my pet have a damage shield? 22 is hit by non-melee damage for 2 points of damage. Actually, you know what? I think the treasure chest buffed him. Ha! Because the pet patrols or like roams past the treasure chest platform when going back. I've noticed, so he was probably buffed. So yeah, ooh, let's tell you what. If that's the meta, where is it? I have like an earring somewhere, don't I? There we go. I'm gonna give my pet another damage shield. It might override the 2 points though. It did, but that's nice though, right? 11. You gotta be min-maxing, right? Ideally, I don't like to be sitting down while doing this because if you're not paying attention, you can get like take a lot of damage, because when you have like runes on, you won't stand up while the first time you get hit. So it'll like eat more of your rune probably, unless you're like really attentive and stand up immediately. But even then, that first hit. Okay, so this is barring another double or triple charm break. It's looking pretty good. 22 is behind on hit points. Actually, maybe I should just be doing this all the time. It's easily got to be like a couple of 100 points of damage during this fight that we end up on. I mean, not that that's a lot, but it's something. It's not, 5 or 10 points of damage. Oops. Okay. Charm break. Let's see. Don't interrupt me. Alright. And then memory flux. There we go. So I would rune here, but I need mana. Like if I get another charm break, the charm itself is like 250, and memory flux is a lot, so can't really afford to be runing. I could click my robe, but it's such a long cast time. So slow war off. Hopefully, our pet will take him to fleeing. Yeah, he starts fleeing at 15% usually. 22. Okay, good stuff. Where do you go? Through here, I guess? Yep. Let's just say 22 died at 1327. Alright. Yeah, nothing. The old trusty, nothing at all. I'm really in a bit of a bad rut when it comes to drops up here. Historically I've gotten quite decent amount of drops, but this is just, I've not gotten anything in a long while. Alright. So we reset the pet. I'm gonna run over to Skyshrine. I'm gonna worry about trying to get a res a bit later. And also, just in case you're wondering, because Alice in Wonderland also contains a rat and a gorilla mob, and in A4 they can drop the stuff you want too. But this 60 shaman I know has been camping those, so I'm not gonna bother. I'm also not going to bother with the chest, just because I've already done a video of that, and I don't know, I just don't feel like it. I feel like getting one more round in on that, on that, that Fe'dhar camp. I really thought no one was in Skyshrine. I was kind of, I checked once or twice while I was there, and so I might have just sort of not checked at the right time or whatever. Okay, so we're gonna get dispelled, which is annoying. So I'm gonna redo clarity, just if nothing else, just because that that means we'll be regenerating some mana while running. And yeah, might as well also do like charisma and stuff. Yeah, let's mem invis and we'll be good to go. So I recently moved my druid up here. He's level 47. Oh, hang on, lost J Boots. Yeah, he's 47, and I got the luminary staff, so I'm going to be quad kiting stuff here in the forest, these mushrooms. And I just gotta say, I don't know, I love this zone. I just have a big weakness for it. Oops. There was the tree. Yeah, there's something about it. Feels a bit secluded, a bit unique, and I actually like being in the forest. That's kind of, a bit docile. All right. A thing to be mindful of here while you're here on a non-dragon factioned character is that one of these wyverns that people are quad kiting, the one that's named, that's called something with a Y, Volcran or something, he actually sees invis. He, she, whatever. So I have just randomly run through him, and I think he or she can pop at any point where there's a wyvern placeholder spot. So yeah, just be aware of that. You might randomly get, attacked if you're on if you're cost to the wyverns or the dragons. I mean. All right. Let's see who's in zone. Me and that level 52 shaman. There's no way level 52 shaman can keep down all of the wyverns if they can even kill one. The wyverns in here are a bit like giants in Kale, I find, in that they have natural high resists, and they also regen their hit points quite like faster than normal mobs. I won't sort of go on record with that, but that's my inclination. That's what I feel is probably happening. Okay, let's see how much is left on that. 2 hours. No, that's fine. Hopefully, can get a friendly cleric to toss me a res or two at some point. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna med here for a bit and probably edit that out so you don't have to see that. All right. So, getting there mana wise. Not gonna bother with the other mind buffs. I just shizar myself to get the. I always shizar myself because I never have food on me, and if I get, once you get to the you're hungry part, you actually start losing endurance. It's common knowledge to some, but maybe not to everyone, and that doesn't really matter that much mostly. most of the time, but it means that you can't jump, and that sometimes actually does matter quite a bit. And so Shisar actually has an endurance regen component. So that's nice. All right. Let's actually hang on. Let me just build them myself. And let's invis up and we'll rune 5 once we're up there. Yeah, so everything is obviously repopped. It's been more than 27 minutes. That's fine. Let's get root memmed and rapture for the initial charm. Okay, and let's mem rune 5. So yeah, being an enchanter and soloing, there's really no way around having the Peridot expenditure. You can't really afford to skimp out. It's just pretty simple. But the upside is, the reason you can't is that you're doing a lot of stuff that is often quite profitable, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so let's charm this beast. And let's haste said beast. Oops. There comes the shambling cube. Pull that. Hope not to get a charm break right now. And root and sit. These cubes will sort of vary in level. Sometimes they are they'll con blue to me. Mostly they con green. Actually, I think I'm gonna click off levitate. It's probably just my paranoia. But I get this feeling sometimes that when I'm floating, I get bounced around more when I'm being beaten, and it might mess up my chances to channel through spells. But it's probably not true. But that's just a feeling. I don't really need levitate in here anyway, so. All right, let's see if we can actually get to kill some wyverns at some point. Okay. Come on, loot already. Okay, pet attack. Sometimes I turn my pet into the werewolf with the boon of the guru, but honestly, I don't really feel like it's necessary. And the proc that Boon of the Guru has is a life tap, which is like functions as a nuke, to my knowledge, anyways. Which means that you risk breaking your root more often on the mob you're killing. So I actually don't really. Whoops. I actually don't even really do it. Doesn't seem like it's a net benefit. More of a hokey kind of thing. It's fun. I mean, it's not that I don't see the appeal at all. All right. Oops. He did not get stunned. We managed to channel through. I'm pretty impressed by that. I thought for sure we would not have been able to channel through the charm. It's funny. I am so used to only using Allure when I'm in Plane of Mischief, and that has, I think, 6 seconds cast time. Yeah. Whereas this has 4. It's a very big difference. Okay. Alright, finally a blue conning mob. And I should be redoing Rune 5, I guess, because Bedlam was beaten off, and then I took a couple of rounds into my Rune 5, but so probably there's only a little bit left, but I'll get around to doing that when I have a bit more mana. And yeah, I was trying to do it earlier, click my robe. That's only Rune 4, though. It's better than nothing, but the 24-second cast time is just so brutal. Alright. Send the pet towards the next mob, which is also blue con. That's nice. I would really love to show you an actual drop of some kind. Nothing has happened yet. Oops. Nothing has happened yet towards that, but yeah. How insane would it be to get like the Wormlord Shawl on camera? I'm not sure if I can contain myself from screaming if that drops. Which it won't, so it's all theoretical, but yeah, you never know. Alright. I'm ally with Krumzek, but I get this could not possibly sorry, your standing with Krumzek got better. Yeah, let's kill this dude. Actually, you know what? I'm going to cast See Invis on my pet as a buffer to not get when he gets dispelled. But yeah, I was just saying about the faction hits off of these. I think is very very low. I think it's like painfully small. It's like 1 or 2 at most positive towards Kale per kill. And it's only, and I say Kale, I mean Krumzek, because Kale, of course, has 3 factions. I hate fighting this guy. He always ends up healing a bunch. Come on. Now he dispels. Let's get ready. My pet felt dispelled, but did not break charm. Okay, gonna re-haste my pet just in case it was haste that was dispelled. I really need to be sitting while fighting, but on that guy, I felt like I had to stand up and be ready. Okay. So as I was saying earlier, this is these mobs are like pretty ideal for a necro to camp, and you can kill everything with a necro as well within a cycle, I think. But it's like only just like when the last mob dies, you'll have like a minute or two before the first mob starts to spawn again. Whereas with an enchanter is you get like 10-15 minutes downtime. There's also like there's a teleporter you can take, and it'll take you into another room with more wyverns. But I'll show you that maybe if we get to it. But I'm not actually sure how I feel about doing that with a charm pet being costs, because I will go through the teleporter and likely I'll just start getting attacked by several mobs at once, and I don't know how quickly my pet gets through. It doesn't feel amazing. Gotta be honest with you. Med, med, med. Always be medding, right? That's our mantra. All right, final cube. Polhydrix Velic. So I wonder if Velic is like a surname or a not a surname, a family name, or a if it's like a title or a class of mob. I wonder if anyone knows. Also wonder what's up with them anyways. Like this is the home of the like worms and wyverns, right? So why do they have these gooey cube thingies? Food for thought. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, come on. Oh no, that's not very good. I'll loot it, but oops, charm break. Actually, I'm gonna try and mez here to redo Tash. I'll redo, and my rune is still on. That's impressive. So we retashed. Yeah, let me just see here. Coalstone Wreath. Yeah, so, I mean, this is one of several kind of meh items, right? Doesn't really set the world alight. Um, but it's, I guess not the worst. Give it to someone who has like made a shaman or a druid or whatever. I am being bogged down by all this coin. All right. Now I really should be redoing Rune 5. I'll do that once I'm on the next mob. Okay. So let's see if... Seems like still it's only this level 52 shaman that's in the zone. So honestly, it cannot be that person killing all the wyverns up there. So must have been someone that logged out. And just logged in, logged out without me noticing it. Okay. All right. If I hadn't retashed before, then Tosh usually wears off once you get to around here. Once you get up this ramp and attack the worm, that's about the duration of charm of Tosh. So just good to know, I guess. So what's really also messed up about the Wormlord Shawl is that, whoops. Okay, so now I was saying what's really messed up about the shawl is that there's another item on the loot table that has the exact same graphics, but and it's called like something worm also. I can't remember what exactly, but it's a back item and it's not very good. But it's just like when you loot the mob, it's there and you're like, and then it's not the Wormlord Troll. I've gotten that once or twice. So yeah, that's the second worm. I mentioned there are two worms, and that's the second one. And it's not a caster, so it's just a warrior mob. But my mana is precariously low, so hopefully we don't get another charm break. If we do, I'm gonna have to probably mez and reset. Or possibly gate. Uh, but yeah, I got this a while back, so I'm hoping to get the Spirit Rat Cord at some point. That's another 2 regen. As you can tell, I'm completely obsessed with regen for my Enchanter here. Okay, let's keep going. Keep going while we can. Worry about mana when we have to. So there, see this. These are the wyverns. These are that's why they call the Fe'dhar camp, because they all are named something Fe'dhar. These will always be dark blue in this room here, as well as upstairs. And yeah, if your pet, if this Velium statue isn't hasted, then eventually like it will start dropping quite a bit low on hit points while fighting these. Okay, come on, mana. It's funny. My main in EverQuest when I played back on live I played from like 2000 to 2006 on Talon Zek and later on Zek when they were merged, and I played an Enchanter, and that was just my main. That was the only character I played back then. Some of you, or most of you, probably know, because the game progressed all the time. You didn't really have time, or unless you sort of played 20 hours a day, you didn't really have time to have all these alts. You had your one main character, and maybe you had one alt, but your main character, you always had to be working on like gearing him up for the expansion you were in, and getting like keys and stuff. All right, so just a quick thing. This guy over here, Polgan, he'll come alone, but these two, Walik and Kwalnik, they are linked. Well, maybe not linked, but I mean, for some reason they're just a little bit closer to each other, so you can't single pull one of those without using Calm. But yeah, I was just saying, like, I played the Enchanter. I always just sort of associated the Enchanter with like the Master of Mana Regen. But then when I got to play on the P99, I started a Necromancer because I just become a father. I wanted to play a video game that I could, you know, be able to get up from when I needed to. So Feign Death was really appealing. The whole like being a lone wolf kind of thing, being able to solo your way through the game was really appealing. So for the first sort of 2 years of P99 for me, I played my Necromancer, and I love him. And he used to be my main. And the mana regen on a Necromancer is obviously just, it's pretty much 3 times what it is on an Enchanter. So now whenever I'm on my Enchanter and I'm in a situation like this where I have to just plant my ass and med. It's just feels so slow. All right. All right. Happy to be going through these. Let's calm. And while we do it, let's just kill this hungry cube. Yeah, I'm gonna risk it. I mean, getting a critical resist here would be kind of annoying. While we have an unrooted mob already, but that we got there first time stuck. All right, I'm gonna pull him out a bit here and send in pet and root. Yeah, so what I was saying, they're not linked. I mean, it's not like now once calm wears off that the other guy's gonna come, but it's just that they must be like just like an inch closer to each other than to that other guy. I wonder how much Rune 5 I've got left, because I did take a little bit of a beating on that. I wish I there's one thing, playing an Enchanter and just in general playing like solo characters, and I really dig the whole solo artist challenge and stuff like that, although I've never really done any of it. I wish I had been more in Howling Stones, but I just cannot. I really, really detest that you have to have the keys. And I mean, I know I should just suck it up, but I hate that. I hate that that corpse running is an issue. Yeah, of course. Now I get a charm break. Just speaking of, and it resisted me. Yeah, I think that's me. Yep. Though maybe I should have tried and stun again. I think I should have done that. I just got sort of dazzled by the notion of having the 4 second cast time on that Boltron's Agassery. Oh well. But yeah, no, I was just saying that I really wish that there wasn't that corpse run issue. I just love that when you die, it's not a big deal. I love not having to have all that meandering. No, maybe not meandering. That's the wrong word, but like yeah, I don't know, just the hassle of having to run over and like worry about getting help with the corpse run and stuff. But actually, I think I'm going to call it here as my daughter's about to wake up, I'm pretty sure, and I got to show you the cam, do some A4 and stuff, and hopefully it was fun. Very sad that I didn't get to show you any good drops, but that's how it is, and yeah, so thanks for watching, and maybe I'll do another video at some point.